Hi everyone, I'm Sybren, and a few months ago in October 2021 I had the opportunity to go to Dubai and meet with the other Chakra.ai core members. This was such a great experience, meeting these awesome people in real life at a great location. But the most unbelievable part about it was that it was made possible while working on an open source project. In this session I will be talking about my personal story that started with using Chakra.ai View, then a small merge request, to a blog post, to getting invited to the core team. So let's go through my story and notice that it wasn't that scary and how it helped me learn a lot of new things like Vue.js 3, TypeScript or writing docs, and how it's helped me to meet amazing people. I also realized that there are many more ways to contribute to open source software than just adding code to the project. Let's get inspired to start with an open source contributing at any level, because it doesn't require geniuses, it requires passionate people. Great, let's start with introducing myself properly. I'm Sybren Willemot, front-end developer from Belgium. And currently I'm working for a software consultancy company called Euricon. I'm also a core member of Chakra.ai View, if you haven't noticed yet. And I'm also a core organizer of Bellevue, which is a Vue-related meetup group in Belgium. Let's go back a few years when I was still in school. There I learned about Git and GitHub. And during my studies I had to make a couple of projects, and I was really happy there was such a thing as open source software. Because at that time I saw it as code that I just could steal and add to my own project, so it worked. And in school I also learned how to use Wikipedia and how to find the definition like the following on the screen about open source software. Nowadays I'm a core member of the Chakra.ai View team. And yeah, what is Chakra.ai now? Because I've said it a lot and I will be saying it many more times during this talk. Well, it is an open source component library that focuses on building accessible applications with speed. I'm part of the Vue team, but there is also a React version of Chakra.ai. And with the Vue team, we are currently building our Vue 1 version that is compatible with Vue 3. And if you're interested in that, I would suggest checking out the talk from Jonathan. My open source journey started in 2020 when I was part of the Worldview meetup team. In July we had our first meetup, and Jonathan, who is the creator of Chakra.ai View, gave a super awesome talk, and I just had to try Chakra.ai View. As you can see, somehow one thing rolled into another thing. Like, I took the chance to join the Worldview team, and somehow it got me trying out Chakra.ai View. Yay! So this is in August of 2020, and I finished my first small test project with Chakra.ai View. I was super proud and I had to tweet about it, of course. So this is what it looked like. It's not much, it's a very simple login form that I created with Chakra.ai and 4 lines of CSS. Now that I know a little bit more about Chakra.ai, I do think I can do it with 0 lines of CSS and using the style props. Normally I don't really get comments under my tweets because I'm not a rock star, but I managed to get this one amazing comment. It was from Jonathan, creator of Chakra.ai View. And yeah, in all excitement, I do remember telling my friend Wim about it, and it was great because I really felt like appreciated and already welcomed to the Chakra.ai community. So I was hyped and I had to try to build more things with Chakra.ai. I wrote my first blog about color palette switching and started building my own personal websites with Chakra.ai and Nuxt, this one, which is still a work in progress. I know. But during development I had some difficulties understanding the docs of Chakra.ai on how to use icons with Chakra.ai and Nuxt. But once I managed to get the icons working on my own project, I created my first PR to Chakra.ai, updating or trying to update the documentation. And yeah, look at that, it got accepted, and Jonathan added me as a contributor to ChakraOI. Can I say that from this point on I am a contributor to ChakraOI View? Let's rewind a little bit. Because do you remember this tweet? This is the first one that I made about Chakra. Well, I think that this is my first contribution to ChakraOI View. Because there is so much more than just contributing code PRs to an open source project. So I'm sure, 100% sure, that everyone here that's listening to my talk is amazing and has already contributed to an open source project. Because you must have sent a tweet or made a blog post or even just talked about a project that you really liked with your friends or colleagues. So that's already contributing to it. The only thing that I would not consider a real contribution is or are amazing pull requests like this, the famous October ones. During the meetup in Dubai, I asked all the other core members why they work or what got them into working in open source. One of the main things that came out of this was that there is a ton to learn in open source. For example, before I joined the core team, I had no real experience with TypeScript or working on a component library. And so it was a perfect opportunity to learn this. It's a perfect opportunity to learn something new and build in public, because it's not only fun, but you have so many people that will help you. Another thing was that all the cool people are in open source, which is true. Just take a look at the Vue community, come on. So yeah, it also makes networking easier. I worked with people I never thought I would work with, and I met people I never thought I would meet, just because of open source. So that's amazing. So many opportunities are also created by open source projects. Not only meeting cool people, but also for me, for example, I think it helped me land this talk. And of course, the trip to Dubai. But it might also help getting an awesome job or build something really loved by the community, which turns out like an awesome framework like Vue.js. And a nice side effect is that you could make some money from these projects. Another thing that was mentioned is the work model. It looks and sounds better than the traditional 9-to-5 one, because everyone is equal, everyone is their own boss, and everyone spends time when they want to spend time on open source. For example, it's not because Jonathan started with the Vue version of ChakraOI that he has all the say in it. Because every voice is heard, every pull request is checked, and anyone can bring value, no matter how much knowledge they have. And the last thing on my list is that it's something that's in line with the opportunities, because contributing to open source helps to build your own personal branding, and this will lead to more opportunities, more connections, and yeah, more fun. So why not? Well, I think there is no real reason why not just do it. Because yeah, I know it looks scary at first, and I do have to admit that before starting as a core member, I felt like I did not have the required knowledge. But it turns out it was absolutely no problem. So in February 2021, a tweet was sent out by Jonathan that he was looking for help with the documentation of the upcoming Vue 1 version of ChakraOI Vue. And I got tagged in it by Alex, who is one of the great members of the Worldview meetup group. And I already was in connection with Jonathan, so I took my chance and went for it. I got a chat with Jonathan, and he was super nice and made sure that I didn't have anything to worry about, like the required knowledge or something. Because yeah, he said like, it may seem intimidating, but yeah, you could start small and learn on the way. That's what he also did by building ChakraOI Vue. So I was inspired and really on ease. So at that moment I knew that I could do it, and I could just count on him and count on the whole community to help me out, because yeah, we are a community. So I took the chance, and yeah, now we're here. Like I said before, it's not all about code. There are so many aspects that need love in an open source project. Segun, who is the creator of the Chakra UI React version, posted a call for collaborators some time ago. And if we quickly scan through it, you can see that they could use help with the documentation, like translations into new languages, for example, or with deferral and community building, like in the Discord, with questions, etc. Or with setting up some side projects, like the Chakra UI Playground. And yes, some core development, or DevOps even. So yeah, you don't have to wait for a call like this, because you can start now, you can start small, and you will learn on the way. Everybody can. And yeah, this will help to get yourself noticed into the community, and it will build a network, and you will find great opportunities, and you will have a great time. I may have gotten you all warm for contributing to an open source project that you like. So here are a few tips that I put together, not in real order or something, but I think the easiest thing to get involved is getting involved in the community. Maybe start with a small project like I did with Chakra UI View. It's not that big, not yet. Let's hope we can build it bigger. But yeah, you can start with saying hi in the Discord, for example, and help other members with questions they have about the open source software. But you can also start with creating a blog post on how you use that piece of software in a personal project. It's like building in public. So another thing is, it's always great to start reading the documentation of open source projects, because many will have a guide on how to contribute to this project. For example, Chakra UI View has a small one, but there is also things like general guides, like the second link, for example. I just have general information how to contribute and in what levels, etc. It's really cool. So the next thing, open source maintainers do love getting help building their projects, and many will have like issues or features in their GitHub that has the tag good for beginners. And yeah, you should be able to find them in their GitHub repo, and maybe those are great to start with. Another tip that I have is that you should not be afraid to ask questions and reach out in public. Why in public? Because you might not be the only one with that question. And yeah, it may help others because they don't dare to ask it yet, or they will have that same question a few days later, for example. And last but not least, enjoy your journey in the open source world. I mean, yeah, it's a great time. So, I'm Sybren, and this was my talk about contributing to open source. I do hope you got inspired to take a look into contributing to a project that you really like. And yeah, if you want to reach out to me, you can find me on Twitter or on Chakra UI Discord under the tag @Scarbeck. Thanks for your time, and remember, you can do it, because it doesn't require geniuses, it requires passionate people. Cheers.